Hello everyone! Season 17 of Skibidi Toilets ended very ambiguously. In the last episode we saw how both armies are increasing their forces. The final battle was preparing. And in this video I will analyze the new episode and show you all the secrets and Easter eggs, so watch until the end to not miss the most interesting. Let's go! From the first seconds of episode 53, we see the Camerawoman. Yeah, I called her Camera Girl, but you didn't like it, so I'm gonna call her Camerawoman. Anyway, she's standing by an overturned toilet, but it's not flushed. We remember from last episode that she destroyed opponents with darts. But here we don't see a dart sticking out. Here we see Skibidi lying down with a smile on his face. Perhaps she has the ability to paralyze her opponents with the glow of her camera. I guess we'll see her fight in the next episodes, but pay attention here. After a few seconds, she disappears. She probably has the ability to teleport just like the TV men. Speaking of TV men, they're missing again in this episode. I've already made a lot of assumptions about them, so I won't focus on those too much. But notice what the Skibidi Toilets say. They used to sing the song Skibidi Dom Dom Yes Yes. Now they've started just saying Skibidi. And while we're talking about the TV men, they showed up in episode 39. That's when all the toilets stopped singing the song and started just saying Skibidi. Why this might have happened, write in the comments. The first time we saw a toilet that didn't sing the song was in episode 14. He was much stronger than the others. And by the way, destroyed not only cameramen, but also other toilets. I have a lot of theories and assumptions. I think I'll make a separate video about it. But for now, let's go back to analyzing the episode. Every big cameraman now has a club, and all the regular cameramen are armed with rifles. It's been going on since the moment we were shown the Camerawoman. We haven't seen any new cameramen like her yet, but I'm going to assume that it was her or her team that started supplying weapons to all the other cameramen. Why am I thinking her? It's very simple. The speakerman stands without a weapon while all the cameramen have it. Most likely it is from the cameramen that this weapons and equipment support comes from. Notice how the Titan Cameraman's cannon work. After firing it, we don't see the Skibidi Toilet fall, or at least shatter into pieces. It just disappears, just like the next toilet beside it. Titan simply vaporized them with his invention. Meanwhile, in episode 50, after Titan's attack, the Skibidi Strider just fell over, as did the Skibidi Spiders. So Titan's improvements aren't over. His cannon continues to be upgraded. The Skibidi Spiders don't even have gray fortified toilets. This is also the first time we see the laser cannons being used behind the Titan's back. They slide out and fire. Those who said that in addition to the cannons, he has sword handles behind his back were wrong. The whole thing extends forward and works like a laser cannon. And here we can see that the Titan has a jetpack and folding wings on the back. This big cameraman just stood on the toilet cistern the whole episode. He probably destroyed the Skibidi by flushing it down, but for some reason he doesn't go further into the fight. Also throughout Season 17, the action takes place on the New York map, and we see that the cameramen successfully clean up the city from Skibidi and have a big advantage. What this one is, I can't figure out at all, but it looks a lot like a plunger made of concrete to me. It's like a statue of a plunger cameraman. Or maybe it's not a statue, but a concrete plunger that could be someone's weapon. By the way, the Plunger Cameraman destroys the toilet, who also has a jetpack. Maybe Plungerman was given a jetpack to fight flying Skibidi. I think it is being prepared as a backup plan to free Titan Speakerman from the parasite as well. After all, we see the main weapon for destroying the parasites and possibly the regular Skibidi Toilets at the end. It is a tank equipped with anti-parasite cannon. Unlike the last model, this one has no cameras on the sides, and the cannon is not a camera, but a device for directing a laser beam. It looks much stronger than the previous versions. By the way, we can see them behind the tank as well. They are almost unchanged, except that the camera lens has been replaced by a muzzle. Also, now there are no barrels, which hung on the side of the old version of the fighting machine. Cameraman now sits behind the wheel, although the first version was driven by a scientist. At the same time, the tank is driven by two scientists, cameraman. We conclude that first, all inventions are tested by scientists and then given to other cameramen to use. This is a very good strategy, because this way you can recognize the flaws and weaknesses of the inventions and start working on them right away. Notice the fin with the circle and the glowing light on top. The Titan Cameraman has the exact same one, and we've seen a similar mark on the wings of the Skibidi plane. Most likely it is an invention of the cameramen, and the Skibidi simply stole the technology. It is also possible that it is connected with the appearance of the new Camerawoman, because it is different from the other cameramen, and the glowing circle on the logo resembles the glow of lights around the Camerawoman's camera. Notice how calmly the big cameramen go into battle. They even look a little zombified. By the way, this guy is parodying the Plunger Cameraman. He's got 2 sticks and he's slowly walking towards his opponent. He's definitely his fan. For those who don't remember, in episode 50, when everyone was running away from the attacks of the Skibidi Toilets, Plunger Cameraman walked heroically alone against a crowd of huge Skibidi mutants. That bravery is why we all admire him so much. I'm sure there will be a special role for him in the series. He totally deserves it. Now let's get to the best part of the show. The new Skibidi Toilet teleports in and hangs in the air. He has a sort of carousel around him and a metal helmet on his head. Note that he is silent. In episode 42, we saw a silent Skibidi Toilet, but his mouth was stitched shut. This time, the monster smiles but doesn't say the word Skibidi, and certainly doesn't sing a song. First of all, if Skibidi had learned to teleport, it would once again mean that they have something in common with TV men. But luckily, he didn't teleport. He just flew very quickly. We've seen this kind of technology before in episode 29. This toilet showed himself very well and quickly dealt with a group of cameramen and speakermen. He did not remain silent. He pronounced some sounds from the song Skibidi Dom Dom Yes Yes. I think this technology was very powerful but uncontrollable. As you may remember, there were no Skibidi toilets around. Perhaps if there were, he could damage them too, and that's not good for the Skibidi. Apparently, scientists have been working on this technology for a long time, and now he has managed to create the perfect version. It's possible that the old version was destroying itself because it looked crazy and flew very randomly. Let's pay attention to the cannon. We've never seen one of these on Skibidi Toilets, but it's also very similar to the Titan Cameraman's cannon. It looks like they also managed to get this technology, but it produces a yellow light and does not eliminate its target. It looks like the big speaker man exploded, but he didn't. There he is, lying nearby. Once again, we see the Plunger Cameraman ready to fight a new opponent. When he sees that Titan has decided to deal with the new Skibidi Toilet himself, Plunger Cameraman decides not to get in his way and retreats. During the shot, the cameraman standing behind it falls to his knees, despite the fact that the main damage from the cannon was taken by the speakerman. By the way, the toilet that was destroyed by the Plunger Cameraman has a flush button not on top, but in a more protected place. Back to the Skibidi UFO. It looks like the carousel around it helps it to balance in the air and also creates a charge for a power spike, causing the toilet to move in space rapidly. The helmet probably serves to protect his head. We remember the first version of such a Skibidi sparking and shaking. Apparently, with the help of Carousel and the Skibidi helmet, the scientists were able to organize this energy and made a really dangerous Skibidi monster. He easily dodged a hammer blow and 2 shots from Titan, then flew away. As the Skibidi UFO flies away, we see a trail that runs off into the distance. This proves once again that he is not teleporting, but flying very fast. In this shot, we can get a closer look at the Titan's hammer. Some of its parts are made of blue metal. There is a turbine inside the hammer and spikes on the end, like a meat tenderizer. During the flight, you can see that Titan still has flashes, as it was before the upgrade. Also, the cannon on his arm turns out to be foldable. Based on the fact that he hid the weapon, Skibidi toilets in the city ran out, which means that the cleanup was successful. We also see a helicopter with engineers flying away, which shows that their work is done. All the wounded have been taken to the base, and the city has been cleared. One of the cameramen also tells us about it by giving us thumbs up. We can clearly see how the cameramen are vastly outclassed by the Skibidi toilets, but I'm sure we'll see the opposite in the new season. All of the mutants we have seen are test units. Most likely armor, new flying machines, and abilities will start to be combined together to create new Skibidi monsters. We also haven't seen G-Toilet in a while. By the way, I'm not sure if he's still the leader of the Skibidi Toilets, but I'll tell you about that in the next video. Titan and Plunger Cameraman are a great team. I'm sure they will continue to work together, but who is Camerawoman? Why can she teleport while the other cameramen can't? Is she alone with a glowing camera? Or is she one of the new species we'll see in future seasons? We'll find out when we see the new episodes. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss new videos. It was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!